Okay, so Virtua Fighter 5 REVO is anemic. There's just practically no content here from a single player perspective. And then, as it's supposed to be a big, release on PC, it's supposed to be bringing in the erasure of the new era of Virtua Fighter. Um, the rollback isn't good. That is a big problem. From my personal experience, I don't have a lot of experience online with all of the fighting games. Somehow I just don't even bother with it. But what to me it feels kind of like Street Fighter 5. I've heard people say it's more closer to Tekken 7, but you're thinking rollback, you think it's gonna be great, and then you're getting around and you're playing. It's like, wait a minute, this isn't very good at all. I didn't play it very long, but I've watched a lot of other people play it online, and it was bad. It would be like 200 ping or something like that, sometimes even worse. They've patched it in so it's supposed to accept, you could do like regional things, whatever. I haven't even played it since then. That's not going to fix the problem. There's a multitude of other problems. No crossplay at all with the PS4 version. And so the PS4 version doesn't even get the rollback. And then they're like, they said that there was something about it doesn't have enough processing power. Well, you know what? Put it on PS5. Put it on Xbox Series X. They're not even doing that because they're half-asses at the end of the day. And because you keep half-assing this stuff and not putting in your best effort and putting it on your A game, that is why Virtua Fighter's forgotten, essentially. It should be playable on all major platforms. And I think originally they were planning to... Well, this goes back to a VFDC article around the time that Ultimate Showdown came out. What was that, 2020 or 2021? They were looking into the Sega websites for it, and there was a page for Xbox, PC, and Switch. And then when it actually came out, it was only for Sony stuff, and it was on PSN. And people thought that was like a big deal, but you know what? Final Showdown actually came out the 2013 or 11, whatever the hell version of Final Showdown, the first one. It came out on PSN Plus as well for free. People don't remember that. I remember that, but it's really disappointing that they've just screwed up the online part of it, which was the big thing that they promised. Because if you look at it really down to what Ultimate Showdown was, there's a lot of problems from that. There is no quest mode. This single player is just arcade, and there's like 8 people you fight or whatever, or 7 people plus Duriel, and then that's it. It's gone. And there's from customization, they've added a lot more customization, provided you buy like $30 of DLC. They've added a lot more, but it still does not have all of the customization that was in Final Showdown from like 2011, whenever the hell that actually is. And so I'm like, dude, I think the faces look ugly. I'm straight up. I think that I don't know what the hell that these guys have done with the faces. There's a couple of them look pretty good, but there's some ones like, woof, this is rough. I think the updated costumes are okay for the most part, but it's just thing that they should have gotten right. If you're sitting there and played it more than 5 minutes, you're like, wait a minute, this isn't right. Like you go into like Tekken and Street Fighter have like their little jukeboxes where you can sign your little soundtracks and stuff for each character. Tekken 8 is freaking great because you can go through all of the Tekken games. You can put it on stages and stuff like that. They have a lot of that stuff here, but it's more like just select entire games. Like, oh, you want the Virtua Fighter 5 vanilla one? You can do that, but now you can't get to access to like the Revolution soundtracks, or there's a couple of them that are on Final Showdown that are really good. You can't mix and match them like that. And that just an example of this, things that are just sorely disappointing. Or even like going through and changing your configuration. It's like you can assign multiple buttons to, or multiple, like if you wanted like, say, multiple punches on your PlayStation controller or whatever, you can't do that. You can only assign only one button can be punch button. And it's just like, well, there's 4 face buttons. One of them, I guess, could be a shortcut or whatever, but it's just one of those things. It's like, oh God, have y'all played the game that y'all put out? Did you put any effort into this? It's like, and the answer is no. The Final Showdown part of this game, or the Virtua Fighter 5, the gameplay part of it is still great. And then they went through and they balanced it. I'm not super in depth on all of the balance changes. I used to keep up with that stuff way back in the day. But Sarah's my character, and she's got her punch out of Flamingo and a couple of throws and stuff like that. It's great that they went back and they buffed some of the characters that apparently are weak in Final Showdown. But and there was new combos and stuff too. And some things have been they've actually tuned some stuff that they changed, so they might continue to balance it more. That's the only positive thing I've got to say about this. But when you don't have good rollback, when you haven't brought forward and put it on all the platforms, when you haven't done crossplay, when you're anemic about customization, I would say it's about par with Vanilla 5 now. It used to be when Ultimate Showdown, it had less stuff than Vanilla 5, at least as far as I can tell. Then when you get the ugly faces and you got Anemic Single Player, and there's probably the worst thing of all is there's no quest mode. Quest mode turns just people who like video games into fighting game fans. It really does. And they might not be good online, but they dang sure want the next good fighting game. And it's great that Tekken 8 and then Street Fighter 6 have gone through and they've added in-depth single player. But there's nothing here. There's nothing on this one. And Virtua Fighter, it really is, especially for new people, it's pick up and play. You got punch, kick, and guard. It's really simple once you get down to the whole shebang is there. There's a lot of depth to it if you want to go that way. But when you've got bad net code, Anemic Single Player, it's one of those things that this is a frustrating experience to talk about, Brian. And of course I keep buying it. But what we really need now is Virtua Fighter 6 to hit it out of the park. And what did they have to work for? What did they bring from this game? Just some of the gameplay, honestly, and that's it. The freaking rollback needs to start from scratch. The graphics need to start from scratch. There's all sorts of things. Like there's no quest mode. It's just a whole pile of problems because they're not putting their best effort into it. They just aren't. And it's this single player. I mean the stuff I have on the screen was for me in a local match with my friend. It's okay. It's better. But hell, even back in the day on the 360, we would have if your friend's 20 minutes away, it wasn't that bad. But this ain't it, man. This ain't it. This is going to be probably my most disappointing game I picked up this year, and you just got to be worried because it's like they're back, and here we are. Virtua Fighter's back, and like, is it? Looks like the same shit to me. When you're going to put some more damn games on that are only in the Japanese arcade. What they probably should have done would have been just a basic collection of from just of all of the 5 games as the arcade port or the remaster. That would have probably been better than what they did. They added some stuff, some 30th anniversary. This isn't the 30th anniversary, by the way. It's been a couple years. Virtua Fighter came out in '93. It's 2025. I don't know. They don't know how math works, but they've hit some. It's such half-assed. They give you some like I don't know, art and stuff, and like key art and pieces like that. You gotta go hunt that shit down through the menu files. It's just one of those things. It just serves an example that they didn't put the effort in that Virtua Fighter deserves. Not at all, and it's sad. And I don't see myself playing this much again. And there's also I was committed. I gave up on Ultimate, and I was just playing the emulated version of the PS3 is what I was playing. Because the Final Showdown was better than Ultimate, in my opinion. This one at least has new balance stuff, but the net code ain't there, and it's sad. So all pause down. The game is still great. It's fun, but the porting part of it, they've really screwed it up. The home console part of it, they really screwed it up. And this is still so bad and so off from what their competition is doing. And it should show them that they're not there where they need to be. And if Virtua Fighter 6 come out like this is going to be a travesty, man. So all pause down. If we should have just played Virtua Fighter 4 Evo again, Brian, we should just play through quest mode again. It'd been great. All pause down. Disappointed. Sad.